Lena Park adjusted the scanner controls on her console aboard the survey vessel *Cloudwalker*. The young Nary science officer had been monitoring the Crescent Nebula for 3 standard cycles, and something unusual had just appeared on her instruments. Captain Han, I'm detecting an anomalous energy signature at coordinates 227 to 43,891. She reported, her blue antennae twitching with excitement. Captain Han looked up from his data pad with mild interest. Classification. That's the strange part, sir. It doesn't match any known species technology in our database. The energy output is massive. Han frowned. Likely a sensor malfunction. Run diagnostics. Already did, sir. Twice. Lena's fingers danced across the holographic interface. I've cross-referenced with the historical archives, and there's only one match, though it's classified as mythological. Which is? Lena hesitated. Human technology, sir. The bridge fell silent. Second Officer Jin laughed nervously. Humans? Those are just old stories to frighten younglings. They disappeared eons ago, if they even existed at all. The signature matches the descriptions in the war records from the Great Division. Lena insisted, down to the unique radiation pattern. Captain Han sighed. Officer Park, recalibrate your sensors. Humans are legends, not reality. But as the anomaly grew stronger, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that the impossible was about to become very real. Lena stayed at her post long after her shift ended. The energy signature had grown by 27% in just 2 hours. The ship's computer kept trying to classify it as a sensor error, but Lena knew better. She pulled up the old records again. There it was, the exact same energy pattern. The records were from the time of the Great Division, over 5,000 cycles ago. Back when humans supposedly fought in the Great War before vanishing from known space. A soft chime from her console made her jump. The signature had changed. It was moving now, approaching their position. Captain Han to the bridge, she called over the comm. The anomaly is on an intercept course. Han arrived minutes later, his face showing concern for the first time. Speed. Faster than anything in our records, Lena said. At current velocity, intercept in 20 minutes. Han ordered battle stations. The crew rushed to their positions, faces pale with fear. Should we run? Asked Jin. No point, said Han. If these readings are accurate, they'd catch us easily. Lena enhanced the scanner image. A shape began to form on her screen. It was massive, at least 20 times the size of the *Cloudwalker*. Its design was unlike anything she'd ever seen. Sleek but angular, with what looked like weapons ports along its hull. Sir, she said, voice barely above a whisper, I'm receiving a transmission. Han nodded. Put it through. The voice that came through the speakers spoke perfect galactic standard, but with an odd accent Lena had never heard before. Nary vessel, this is Captain Ta of the United Earth Ship *Thunderbolt*. We mean you no harm. Please identify yourselves. The bridge crew looked at each other in shock. United Earth, the legendary human homeworld. This is Captain Han of the survey vessel *Cloudwalker*. Han replied, his voice steady despite his obvious fear. We are on a scientific mission. Captain Han, we've been observing your vessel. We request permission to approach and establish direct communication. Han muted the channel and turned to his officers. Opinions. It's a trick, said Jin. Everyone knows humans are just myths. Then who are we talking to? Asked Lena. Their technology matches nothing in our database except the human records. Han unmuted the channel. Captain Ta, we're surprised. According to our history, humans vanished thousands of cycles ago. A brief pause. We didn't vanish, Captain Han. We retreated. And now we've returned. Lena felt a chill run down her spine. The stories were true. The legendary warriors of old, the beings whose technology had been unmatched, whose fighting spirit was still used to inspire Nary children. They were real, And they were here. "We're coming alongside your vessel," Captain Ta continued. "We would like to send a representative aboard, with your permission." Han looked at Lena, who nodded eagerly. "Permission granted," he said. As the massive ship approached, its shadow engulfing the Cloudwalker*, Lena couldn't help but feel both terrified and thrilled. Everything she thought she knew about galactic history was about to change. Humans were not legends. They were real. And they had returned. The massive vessel that emerged from hyperspace dwarfed the Cloudwalker*, like a predator beside prey. Its hull gleamed with a metallic sheen unlike any alloy known to the Nari people, bristling with what were unmistakably weapon ports. "All crew to emergency stations," Captain Han ordered, his usual calm demeanor cracking. "Shields at maximum." "They're hailing us," Communications Officer Kim announced, voice trembling. "Put it through," Han said after a moment's hesitation. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that matched the ancient descriptions perfectly. No antennae, no gill slits, just smooth skin and a strange tuft of fur atop its head. A human. "This is Captain Lee of the United Earth Ship Horizon *." The being said in perfect galactic standard. "We mean you no harm." Lena stepped forward without thinking. Impossible. Humans disappeared after the Great Division, 5,000 cycles ago. Captain Lee smiled. "Not disappeared, just exploring beyond known space. We've been waiting for the right time to return." The bridge of the Cloudwalker*, fell into stunned silence. Lena stared at the screen, studying the human's features. Captain Lee had dark eyes, pale skin, and black hair swept back from a high forehead. The legends were true. These beings looked almost like Nari, but without any of the natural adaptations that marked every known species in the galaxy. "Why now?" Captain Han finally asked, his voice tight. "Why return after so many cycles?" The human captain's expression grew serious. "That's a discussion best had in person, Captain Han. With your permission, I'd like to send a small delegation to your vessel." Officer Jin moved close to Han. "Sir, I strongly advise against this. These beings have weapons that could destroy us in seconds." "If they wanted to destroy us, they already would have," Lena pointed out. Han nodded slowly. "Permission granted, Captain Lee. You may send 3 representatives. We will meet you in our main conference room." The human gave a slight bow. "Thank you. We'll arrive shortly." When the screen went dark, the bridge erupted in anxious chatter. Han raised his hand for silence. "Lena, you'll join me to meet them. Jin, organize a security team. Discreet, not threatening." 20 minutes later, Lena stood beside Captain Han in the conference room, heart pounding. The ship's alarm sounded, indicating the arrival of a small craft in the docking bay. "Are you afraid?" Han asked quietly. Lena considered the question. Curious more than afraid. The stories say humans were fierce warriors, but also great builders. The door slid open. 3 humans entered, Captain Lee in the center, flanked by a tall male and a shorter female. All 3 wore simple dark uniforms with silver insignia. Up close, the humans were even more striking. Their movements were fluid, confident. Captain Lee extended a hand, a gesture Lena recognized from historical texts as a human greeting. "Captain Han, thank you for receiving us. This is Commander Sun, my second officer, and Dr. Moon, our chief scientist." Han hesitated before extending his own 6-fingered hand, which Lee grasped firmly. "This is Science Officer Park," Han said, nodding to Lena. Dr. Moon's eyes lit up. "Another scientist. Wonderful. I have so many questions about Nari physiology, if you're willing to discuss it." "I have many questions as well," Lena replied, noting the doctor's friendly demeanor. Captain Lee turned serious again. "I understand our appearance must be shocking. The historical records of our species have been deliberately distorted over time." "By whom?" Han asked. "By those who feared our return," Commander Sun said, his voice deep. The same forces that caused the Great Division. Captain Lee placed a small device on the conference table. It projected a three-dimensional star map of the galaxy. Several systems glowed red. We've been monitoring these systems from beyond known space, Lee explained. Something is stirring, something that nearly destroyed all advanced civilizations 5,000 cycles ago. The Void Collective, Lena whispered, recalling the old legends. Lee looked at her sharply. You know of them? Most records were purged. Only as myths, Lena admitted. Stories say they feed on fear and conflict. Not myths, Dr. Moon said softly. They're very real. And they're returning. Han frowned. If this is true, why did humans leave when they were needed most? Lee's expression darkened. We didn't leave by choice. We were driven out, made to appear as the villains. Many species believed we caused the division, not the collective. The collective corrupted memories, altered records, Sun added. By the time we discovered their influence, the galaxy had turned against us. Lena felt a chill. And now you've returned because they're active again. Lee nodded. We've spent 5,000 cycles preparing, building, learning. We need allies who can see past the corrupted history. Han studied the humans carefully. How do we know you're telling the truth? Captain Lee reached into a pocket and removed a small crystal. This contains uncorrupted records from before the division. Study it, then decide. Lena took the crystal, her scientific mind already racing with possibilities. If the humans were right, everything her people believed about their history was wrong, and a threat greater than any they could imagine was coming. Your technology is incredible, Lena whispered as she followed Commander June through the corridors of the Asterisk Horizon Asterisk. The human ship hummed with energy that made her skin tingle. We've had a long time to develop it, June explained. After the division, our people retreated to rebuild. Many believed we'd gone extinct. That's what our histories say, Lena admitted. But why return now? Commander June's expression darkened. Because the Void Collective is stirring again. We've detected their signals. Lena felt her heart skip. The Void Collective is just a myth. Like humans, June raised an eyebrow. The collective manipulated the division, turned species against each other. When we discovered their influence, we were already too weakened to fight directly. So we withdrew, prepared. Our people don't know this history, Lena said. History is written by those who remain, Captain Lee said, entering the room. The collective has been reshaping galactic memory for millennia. Lena stared at the wall of screens before her. Each one showed different parts of the Asterisk Horizon Asterisk. The ship was a wonder, nearly 10 kilometers long, with areas dedicated to science, defense, food production, and even recreation. One screen showed humans swimming in a large pool of water. Another displayed children learning in what looked like a school. Your ship is like a moving city, Lena said. It has to be, Commander June replied. We've been traveling for generations. Captain Lee guided Lena toward a door at the end of the corridor. It slid open to reveal a large room filled with strange objects. Artifacts from different worlds, displayed like treasures. This is our historical archive, Lee explained. Physical proof of our interactions with other species before the division. Lena approached a display case containing a familiar object, a ceremonial blade with the seal of the ancient Nari High Council. This is from my homeworld, she gasped. But it's over 5,000 years old. A gift from High Counselor Min to Earth's president, Lee said. We were allies once. Lena moved from case to case, finding more evidence of ancient cooperation between humans and other species. Treaties, cultural exchanges, technological collaborations. Why would the Void Collective want to erase this history? She asked. Division is their strength, June explained. They feed on conflict. When species unite, the collective weakens. Their greatest fear was the galactic alliance we were building, Lee added. So they destroyed it from within, planting seeds of distrust, manipulating leaders. Lena stopped at a large screen showing a star map. What are these red markers? Current collective activity, Jum said grimly. Their influence is spreading again. How can you tell? Patterns of conflict, technological regression, cultural isolation. The same signs we missed last time. A soft chime sounded, and a young human female entered the room. She carried a tray with several containers. I thought our guest might be hungry, she said with a smile. I'm Medical Officer Yuna. Lena accepted a container gratefully. Inside was a food paste similar to Nari nutrition bars, but it smelled much better. You know our dietary needs? Lena asked, surprised. We've maintained our databases on all known species, Yuna explained, even as we explored beyond known space. Lena took a cautious taste. The flavor was perfect, sweet with hints of spice, just like home. This is delicious. Yuna smiled. I'm glad you like it. Cultural understanding starts with small things. As they ate, Captain Lee activated a holographic display in the center of the room. It showed a large structure, unlike anything Lena had ever seen. This is what we believe to be a collective hub, Lee explained. It's located in the Taman Nebula, just outside Nari space. Lena froze. The Forbidden Zone. No ships are allowed there by order of the High Council. Exactly, Jun said. Ask yourself why that region has been restricted for thousands of years. The implications were staggering. If the High Council was influenced by the collective, how many human ships have returned? Lena asked. 17 battle carriers and their support fleets, Lee said, positioned at strategic points throughout the galaxy, cloaked. You've been watching us. We've been protecting you, Jum corrected, without revealing ourselves until necessary. Captain Lee's expression softened. Lena, we need allies who can see past the manipulated history. The Nari were our closest friends before the division. Your people's ability to process and share complex information makes you natural resistance fighters against collective influence. Lena felt the weight of this knowledge pressing down on her. Everything she had believed about history, about humans, about the galaxy itself, it was all constructed fiction. If what you're saying is true, she said slowly, then my people need to know. It's dangerous knowledge, Yuna warned. The collective has agents everywhere. Your own leaders may be compromised. I have to try, Lena insisted. If the Void Collective is real, then my world is already in danger. Lee and Jun exchanged glances. We can provide evidence, Lee finally said, but how you use it is crucial. The moment the collective realizes humans have returned and are sharing the truth, they will accelerate their plans. Lena looked again at the ancient Nari blade in its display case, proof of a friendship erased from history. Then we don't have much time, she said. The High Council of Nari received the human delegation with undisguised suspicion. Elder Sue stood at the center, her ancient eyes narrowed. So the legendary destroyers return, she said coldly. To what do we owe this? Honor. Captain Lee stood tall. We come with a warning. The Void Collective is awakening. They've begun manipulating events again, just as they did before the division. Convenient that you blame this mythical entity for the devastation your kind caused. Council member Jun scoffed. Lena stepped forward, heart pounding. Elders, I found evidence in our own archives. Records that were altered, sections removed. She projected a series of documents. These original texts clearly show that humans fought against the collective, not as conquerors but as defenders. This is heresy, Elder Sue whispered. It is truth, Captain Lee replied. And the collective is coming, not just for humans, but for all sentient life. The Grand Council chamber fell silent. 7 Nari elders sat in a half-circle on elevated seats, their blue skin wrinkled with age, antennae perfectly still in shock. Guards lined the walls, hands resting on their weapons. Elder Sue recovered first. Officer Park, you bring aliens to our capital and spread dangerous lies. Explain yourself. Lena's mouth felt dry, but she stood her ground. I found these records in the sealed section of our historical archives. They were hidden, not destroyed. She projected a hologram showing ancient documents. This is a peace treaty between humans and Nari from before the division. And here, she swiped to another document, is proof that the original records were altered 300 years after the division. Council member Jun rose from his seat. These could be forgeries. Then explain this, Lena said, projecting a final image. It was an ancient recording showing humans and Neri fighting side by side against shadowy creatures. This was recovered from a time capsule buried beneath our oldest temple, Lena explained. It predates the division. The council members whispered among themselves. Captain Lee stepped forward. We understand your suspicion, he said. For thousands of years, your people have believed humans were destroyers. The Void Collective designed it that way. What exactly is this Void Collective? Asked Elder Min, the youngest council member. Commander Jun activated a device that projected a three-dimensional image of a strange, shifting entity that seemed to absorb light around it. They're not physical beings like us, Jun explained. They exist partly in our reality and partly in another dimension. They feed on fear, conflict, and destruction. During the division, Lee continued, they manipulated species against each other. We discovered their influence too late. Elder Sue's antennae quivered with anger. If what you say is true, why did humans abandon the galaxy? We didn't abandon it, Lee replied calmly. We retreated to gather strength and develop technology that could fight the collective. If we had stayed, we would have been destroyed. And with us, any hope of stopping them. Lena brought up another image, a star map showing red spots throughout the galaxy. These are current collective activities, she explained. Each red area shows unusual conflict, resource depletion, or technological regression. The pattern matches exactly what happened before the division. Elder Min studied the map closely. The Forbidden Zone is completely red. Yes, Lena said, because it contains a collective hub, their primary connection to our reality. The zone has been forbidden for thousands of years, Jun pointed out. By whose order? Lee asked quietly. And why? The council fell silent again as the implication sank in. Suddenly, the chamber doors burst open. Captain Han rushed in, ignoring the guards who tried to stop him. Elders, forgive my interruption, he said breathlessly. We're receiving reports of strange attacks on our outer colonies. Ships are disappearing. Communications are being disrupted. Elder Sue turned pale. This is your doing, she accused the humans. No, Lee said firmly. This is what we came to warn you about. The collective knows we've returned. They're accelerating their plans. Lena projected new data from her pad. These attack patterns match historical records of early collective activity during the division. Elder Min stood up. I believe them. The evidence is too strong to ignore. This could be an elaborate deception, Jun argued. To what end? Lena asked. If humans wanted to destroy us, why warn us first? Why share their knowledge? Captain Lee stepped to the center of the chamber. We don't ask for your trust, only your caution. Investigate what we've shown you. Verify it independently. But please, do it quickly. The collective works by division, Commander Jun added. They will try to turn you against each other, against other species, and especially against us. Elder Sue studied the humans with ancient, wise eyes. After a long moment, she nodded slowly. We will consider your warning and investigate these records, she said. Until then, you may remain on Nari Prime as our guests. As the council dispersed, Lena felt a mixture of relief and dread. They had been given a chance, but time was running out. The shadow of the Void Collective was spreading, and soon it would engulf them all if they couldn't unite against it. The attack came without warning. Void ships descended on Nari Prime, their black hulls absorbing light itself. The planetary defenses, considered state-of-the-art, fell within minutes. Just as the council was about to surrender, the sky lit up with brilliant flashes as the human fleet arrived, led by the Horizon Asterisk. Lena stood on the bridge beside Captain Lee as the human ships deployed technology that seemed like magic, shields that adapted to the void weapons, countermeasures that disrupted their control systems. They're retreating, Commander Jum announced after a fierce battle that left much of the capital in ruins but the planet secure. In the aftermath, Elder Sue approached Captain Lee. "It seems we owe you an apology and our gratitude." "What we need is alliance," Lee replied. This was just the beginning. Later, as repair crews worked, Lena found herself appointed as the official liaison to the human fleet. "You knew all along they would come," she said to Captain Lee. "That's why humans stayed hidden for so long." Lee nodded. "We needed to be ready. The legends they told about us, that we were destroyers, conquerors, those served a purpose. They kept the collective believing we were no threat." Lena looked out at the stars, where both human and Nari ships now patrolled together. "And now?" "Now," Lee said with determination, "the legends will tell a different story." The city of Nari Prime burned. Black ships hung in the sky like holes in reality itself. They did not fire traditional weapons. Instead, they sent down beams of darkness that seemed to eat away at everything they touched. Lena ran through the streets toward the council building. People rushed past her, their blue skin pale with fear, antennae flat against their heads. The air smelled of smoke and something else, something wrong, like decay but colder. "They came so fast," Captain Hand said when she found him. He was wounded, his left arm hanging uselessly at his side. "No warning. Our defenses failed instantly." Inside the council chamber, Elder Sue stood with the remaining leaders. Their faces showed defeat. "We must surrender," Council Member Jun was saying. "We have no defense against these weapons." "Surrender to what?" Lena asked, entering the room. "These aren't ships with crews. They're extensions of the collective itself. There's no one to negotiate with." Elder Sue looked at her with tired eyes. "Then we are lost." The building shook as another attack hit nearby. Part of the ceiling collapsed at the far end of the chamber. "The humans," Lena insisted. "They can help us." "The humans are gone," Jun said bitterly. "They showed us the danger, then abandoned us to face it." A guard rushed into the room. "Elders, something is happening in orbit." They hurried to the observation deck. Through the thick smoke, they could see new lights in the sky. Bright flashes of blue and white energy cut through the darkness. The black ships were turning, focusing their attention upward. "They came back," Lena whispered. The comm system crackled to life. "Nari High Council, this is Captain Lee of the United Earth Fleet. We apologize for the delay. Hold on, help has arrived." The battle above was like nothing Lena had ever seen. Human ships moved with impossible speed, their hulls glowing with energy fields that the dark beams couldn't penetrate. They fired weapons that seemed to tear holes in the void ships, making them collapse in on themselves. "They're winning," Elder Min breathed. "Not yet," Lena said, "but they're giving us a chance." Hours later, when the last void ship had retreated or been destroyed, Lena stood on the landing platform as Captain Lee and Commander Jun disembarked from their shuttle. Their uniforms were torn and dirty. They looked tired but determined. Elder Sue stepped forward. "You saved our world when you had no obligation to do so." "We have every obligation," Lee said. "The collective is our enemy too." "We monitored the attack from beyond your system," Jun explained. "We gathered our fleet as quickly as possible." In the days that followed, humans and Nari worked side by side to rebuild. Human medical teams treated the injured. Their engineers helped restore power and communications. Their scientists studied the strange residue left by the void weapons. At a formal ceremony 1 week after the attack, Elder Sue signed a treaty of alliance with Captain Lee. Representatives from 7 other species were present via hologram. All had faced similar attacks, All had been saved by human intervention. The Void Collective made a mistake, Elder Sue said in her address. They believed that by turning us against each other, by erasing our shared history, they had weakened us forever. Instead, they gave us time to grow stronger apart. Later, as the first joint fleet of human and Nari ships prepared to depart, heading toward the Forbidden Zone to strike at the heart of the collective, Lena found Captain Lee on an observation deck. I've been appointed as the official Nari liaison to the human fleet, she told him. A good choice, he said with a smile. You knew they would attack us, Lena said. It wasn't a question. That's why humans stayed hidden for so long. You were preparing. Lee nodded. We needed to be ready. The legends they told about us, that we were destroyers, conquerors, those served a purpose. They kept the collective believing we were no threat. And now they know differently, Lena said. Now they know we remember, Lee corrected. We remember our allies, our friends. We remember the truth. Lena looked out at the stars, where both human and Nari ships now patrolled together. Several vessels from other species were joining them each day as the alliance grew. And now, she asked. Now, Lee said with determination, the legends will tell a different story, one where the galaxy stands united, one where the collective learns to fear us. As the fleet jumped to light speed, Lena knew that the ancient myths of humanity had come full circle, once feared as destroyers, now hailed as saviors. And perhaps at last, the galaxy would know the truth about both. The end.